Welcome to the FA Cup and Champions League double final special here as our last ever episode of this Leeds United career mode. We finished the Premier League season in the last episode. I think this is probably going to go live as a bonus extra weekend upload on Saturday. So there will have been a video yesterday with that Premier League season finale, the title chase. How well that chase went, you'll have to find out by watching that video. I won't spoil anything for you here, but you can see that two of our players got into Team of the Year in the Premier League. And hopefully we can add some trophies to our cabinet with a title win in the FA Cup and a title win in the Champions League, both against English opposition. It's Manchester City we have in the final of the Champions League today. Brighton first. We won't underestimate them. You all will remember what happened last year in the FA Cup final against Wolves. It didn't go well and we bloody lost it. We also lost the Carabao Cup final earlier this season as well, so we don't have that great a record in finals at Wembley. 0 from 2, in fact. So, fingers crossed we can change that today. Do drop the video a like if you've enjoyed this save. I'd appreciate it. Let me know in the comment section which way you think the results are going to go without skipping to the end and cheating, of course. There'll be an update video of sorts going live either tomorrow on Sunday or on Monday with regards to what's happening next on the channel, what we're going to do and what we're looking to do in that next save. A lot of you know what that's going to be already, of course. I will divulge more when we get to that little update video. We're going to concentrate on Leeds United today. Saying thank you as ever for your guys' support in the comment section down below for the content. Really appreciate it very much indeed. Today we're saying thank you to Nick, saying thank you to August, and also saying thank you to Benedict as well. August, thank you very much indeed for joining the Patreon at the VIP tier as well. We will have you in the next save when that happens, and of course any of you that would like to join can do so in the meantime before we set up that new save that will start probably towards the end of next week, I imagine. Right, 2 cup finals. Let's get it done. I'm not in the suit. I'm still unwell. It's hot. It's not a good combination. So we're just in the Leeds kit today. We've got the heart rate monitor on though, of course. So we'll see if the heart rate actually goes up significantly more than previous for cup finals over a Premier League title run-in. It's probably quite high during the title run-in. It's quite high now. But for the time being, we're going to concentrate on Brighton and make sure that everybody is as fit as they possibly can be and as sharp as they possibly can be so that we get the best results we possibly can, which hopefully will be 2 victories. Our last result against Brighton was a 3-0 victory at home, as you can quite clearly see there. And prior to that, much earlier on in the season, we got a 4-0 victory away from home. So it looks good on paper with regards to previous performances against this side. However, how good will they be on this day? Will they raise their game? Mukoko up top, Muniain at cam, Riquelme and Mazilu out wide with Baleba and Agume in the midfield roles. Vasquez, Ake, Diamande and Mikel Catarino at right back. They're missing Florentino at CDM, suspended as you can see, but they've got decent options on the bench with Guendouzi, Malacia and Mitoma. So they're not going to be a pushover. They're probably not going to be great, but we thought the same of Wolves last year, and then they went and won the final. So let's not do that, shall we? We should be able to. We'll definitely be able to play in the home kit here against their light blue strip. Come on then, boys. One final at a time, one trophy at a time. That's what we're playing for. It's the FA Cup. Leeds United versus Brighton in apparent darkness. Saw why the lighting is quite so poor. It is loud here at Wembley today. My God. Really, really loud inside Wembley's. I think I remember that actually last time we played here too. There's a bit more light this end of the pitch. I don't quite know what's going on with the shadows here in this particular fixture. I apologise for that. Shouldn't be too hard to figure out who's playing for who throughout. But it might be a little bit awkward at times. Alvarez will look for Rafinha and will cut inside. And Rafinha very nearly gives us the best possible start here at Wembley in this FA Cup final, but goalkeeper Draven Hall makes a very good stop to deny us that first 1-goal lead. Seagulls, seagulls. Well, hopefully the seagulls won't be flying high come the end of this game. I see Somerville free at the back post. Not free enough. Catarino does well enough. And that's not a great ball looking for Martson, to be fair. Can Archie Gray win this? Yes. Go on, Archie. it would have been a hell of a way to start the FA Cup final. Goal scoring from that range on his week for Alvarez, wins that header well. And Archie Gray did score a goal on the Premier League final day against Bournemouth, but not able to get one at Wembley so far. It has been all Leeds. In fact, it's mainly been all Rafinha thus far, if I'm completely honest. He's done everything to this point, apart from getting some good interceptions in, which is what Declan Rice has done there, but still, we haven't found an opening goal here. Yusufa Moukoko is going to be tricky, actually. I don't tend to play against him that often in career mode. I don't know whether to be fair, a lot of you guys probably buy him in career mode. He was always a go-to youngster, wasn't he? I'm not sure what his potential is now. He's a little bit older, but certainly a capable striker for this level, for a side of the quality of Brighton. It's knocked down well enough by Alvarez, but picked off well. Muniain and Agume. Declan Rice does what Declan Rice does best, and Rafinha plays it into Alvarez here. I've got Gini Ruter with me. Alvarez going to go again. No, Archie Gray will drive into the space. And Somerville's looking for the ball through the gap. It's a wonderful through ball. It's a wonderful goal. Leeds lead at Wembley. Crescencio Somerville 1-0. Well in debt. Here's Alvarez. Somerville. Caught on it. Mazilu. Caught on it. Somerville. Just trying to turn away from all of the danger there. Has been very much all Leeds so far. But we've encountered games like that previously and definitely not gotten the results. Diamande's clearance, Archie Gray will win that. Gini gets it under control well and will spread it out wide here to Martson. Alvarez is trying to make the move into some space, but finding him is proving to be difficult. Somerville's found well. Do I? Go on then, Archie. And then Gini Ruter is there. And Rafinha. And a little lift. Quite what I had in mind. Archie Gray. Declan Rice. Space. Declan Rice. So very nearly a second. Agume. Into Mazilu. And Riquelme again. Sharp turn. He's playing on the left, Riquelme, but he's certainly drifted into a central area here and with some very good footwork. Could be setting up a Brighton Hove Albion chance here, but the answer to that quandary is that no, he will not set up a Brighton Hove Albion chance, and actually by losing the ball, he might help us try and score a second of our own. Alvarez's first time pass was not quite up to scratch there. And it looks like it's only going to be the 1-0 at half-time here against Brighton. Unless... Nope. Ethan Ampadu stands firm enough, although very nearly lost it in a dangerous position. We will keep possession. We will keep the lead at the break. Riquelme. Inside nicely to Muniain, who's standing firm. And Meslier makes the save at the near post. Ike Muniain won the Copa del Rey with Athletic Club de Bilbao in real life this season. He's trying to help his club side win the domestic cup again here, although he's now been subbed off from Mitoma as we mention it. Joel Peru is on for me for Alvarez, and Alex Scott is on for Declan Rice. So we've made a couple of changes through the core of the team. Moukoko was putting together a really nice dribbling move there, but it hasn't, unfortunately for him, transpired with the opportunity on goal that I'm sure he would have loved. We'll look to switch this for Rafinha, try and spin the defender if we can. It's not to be beaten, but he is if you play the ball around him like that. Now, Gini, get in the box, pal. Gini Ruter, well, he threw himself at it. He couldn't get to it. Alex Scott does well. Rafinha trying to get to that. It just won't fall free to anybody in the Leeds United shirt at the moment. 20 minutes to go here. Still only one. I'm not confident of seeing this through yet. At all, if I'm completely honest. Nathan Ake here, trying to build from the back for Brighton and Hove Albion now. 18 minutes to go. It's Manchester City we have next in the Champions League final. We lost the Carabao Cup final to Spurs, but we did win the Community Shield earlier this season against Manchester City. So we do have previous quote-unquote final history against Manchester City this season. But whether that will work for us and in our favour for the second final we face them in, on, let's be honest, quite a different stage, Champions League final over Community Shield, I don't know. So far, so good at Wembley, though. Don't know where the Champions League final is going to be held here in this, was it 26-27 season, I think? But at the minute, here at Wembley for this FA Cup final, we might be about to seal it. Gini Ruter does exactly that. 2-0. Leeds United will lift the FA Cup this year. The demons of last season are put to rest. And Archie Gray bursting beyond the line here. The Leeds United youngster wins the corner for us. It's not quite had the goal-scoring impact of Jamie Shackleton in the previous Leeds save, but he's certainly been the young Leeds man that's grown particularly well and made a name for himself in this save, isn't he, Archie Gray? And who knows, he might yet have a Jamie Shackleton-esque impact on the Champions League final against Manchester City. How fitting would it be, how poetic, if Archie Gray scores a very similar goal against Manchester City that Jamie Shackleton did against, was it Atletico Madrid in the Champions League final of FIFA 20? This is excellent football that unfortunately won't lead to a third goal to properly seal it, but let's be honest, Brighton aren't turning this over now. Leeds 2, Brighton 0. The Seagulls have had their wings clipped at Wembley, and it will be the Whites, not the blue and whites, that lift the FA Cup trophy this season. After losing by a goal to nil to Wolverhampton Wanderers last year in particularly frustrating circumstances, we've picked ourselves up, we've gone again, and we've built another cup run. In fact, we've built 3 cup runs. Getting to the final of the Carabao Cup, but sadly losing to Tottenham, thanks to, let's be honest, a wonderful free kick from Pedro Porro. Relatively straightforward start to the day here. Brighton weren't at the races. It was the closest game we've had against them this season. 4-0, 3-0, 2-0 in that order. But they aren't, nor did we expect them to be, at our level. Apologies for the frame rate issues. It's the game chugging the PC, not my PC. It's just that poorly made on PC, that poorly optimised. Ethan Ampadu will lift the trophy here for us. And we hope, as we said at the Community Shield final, it's not the last one he lifts for us this season. When he lifted the Community Shield, we said we've got plans to win more this season. We have now won more this season, but we've plans yet further still to lift more today. Ethan Ampadu lifts the FA Cup in bits. Let's get out of there so that everything starts to smoothen out again, shall we? And then it's time to head now to the Champions League final against Manchester City to try and do it all over again. So with the FA Cup won, we're about to head to Germany, to the Veltins Arena, FC Schalke's ground, to try and win another trophy. You saw there that Inter Milan have won the Europa League. We've obviously won the FA Cup. Don't know who's won the Europa Conference League. We hope to know. But we've won the Champions League after this next game. It is Foden, Haaland and Keiki on the right-hand side. Rodri, Pedri and McAtee at cam. Don't underestimate McAtee. He always plays very well. Alphonso Davies, Harwood Bellis, Ruben Dias and Jan Couto with Diogo Costa in goal. Jan Couto at right back and Harwood Bellis aren't great, but they don't have many better options on the bench, to be completely honest. Previous results against Manchester City this season, if you were wondering, we had a look at Brighton. Let's have a look at City. We played them quite a while ago in the Premier League, actually. We haven't played them most recently. In fact, back in February, we lost by 2-1 against Manchester City in the Premier League. We then beat them in the league by 3-0 and in the Carabao Cup by 3-2. So having played them 3 times this season, we are, on aggregate, doing better. But is this Manchester City's opportunity to do one over on us and get revenge? I certainly hope not. We'll start with the same 11 played in the previous game. I think they've earned the right to play again. And I'm sure it'll be fine to play in the white kit against a blue and white opposition once more. This time, can we win another final? Veltins Arena is actually a very, very good ground. It's recognisable because it's got that big screen hanging in the middle of the centre circle. Above, obviously, rather than actually on the centre circle. Hello, Pep. May the best man win. Hopefully will be me. We probably couldn't have faced much tougher an opposition, to be completely honest. I will show you their ratings as it stands here. Manchester City, Diogo Costa is 89. Yan Couto's 83, so he's not bad at all. Ruben Dias is 90. Taylor Harwood-Bellis is 80, so he's not shabby. It's not great, but he's not shabby. And with Afonso Davies and Ruben Dias either side of him, I'm sure he'll be just fine. Pedri 92, Rodri 91, McAtee 79, Keiki 75, Haaland and Foden. Surprised to see McAtee and Kate. Not surprised to see McAtee because he always plays for some reason. Surprised to see Keiki, although they don't appear to. Well, I guess Zakanyi is a player that can play out wide and is higher rated, but he's more of a left winger than a right winger, and obviously it prioritises someone that has right wing as their main position. There's Joseph White, 86 rated regen on the bench, not a Patreon player, don't know what position he plays. Obviously, you know that Andre Lunin is a goalkeeper, but evidently Diogo Costa is going to start ahead of him. Ederson was sold in this save by Manchester City. My starting lineup is as it was in the FA Cup final. We beat Brighton. This is an entirely different test, though. Free kick for City. Erling to stand that up, and Ben White wins it. We can actually bring that down quite comfortably with Rafinha. There was enough space there to do that. Somerville is going to wait for the support. In fact, do I even bother? Should have done, because Alvarez stopped his run, annoyingly. Can he win that off Couto, though? Former Manchester City man, of course. Julian Alvarez. Did we buy him from City or did we buy him from somewhere else? I think we bought him from Manchester City, didn't we? He was worth every single penny. So he might not have been City. I can't remember. You guys will remember. Saw someone in live chat will remind me throughout the course of the game. Rodri out wide to Phil Foden. They've got such good players, Manchester City. We were obviously a level above Brighton with regards personnel, but we are a level behind Manchester City here with regards to personnel. I've got some 88 and 89 rated players, but I do not have multiple players in the 90s. Nor would we until the end of next season, or even ever, perhaps. Alvarez looking for Somerville, needed a better pass there because we were in. Unfortunately, we are not. And Archie Gray can't win that back either. This one might be City domination, the same way that it was Leeds domination in the FA Cup final. But we'll try our best to be as competitive as possible. It's a relatively even game. You can't massively call it. Hopefully, we'll be the ones to get the better of Manchester City today. And we couldn't have started off better. I actually got the better of Ruben Dias, can you believe it? I probably should have done the apology celebration with Julian Alvarez, but in a Champions League final, who bloody cares? Leeds 1, Manchester City 0. They lose possession in the midfield, through ball's good, and just the change of direction does Ruben Dias. He cannot cope with his former teammates' agility, balance, and drive and determination to get to goal. Left-footed effort, not right in the corner, but powerful enough to beat the keeper. We normally rely on our pace, but they have pace in pretty much every area, Manchester City. Not sure why he took an extra touch there, Somerville, and tried to scoop it with his right rather than just lofting it with his left, which is what I wanted him to do. Wow, what a save! What a header. Rafinha throwing himself at it at the back post, and Diogo Costa denies us a quick-fire second. That could have given us a hell of a platform in this Champions League final. It stays at just 1. Foden gets away from me again. And still going for goal. I don't know if Ben White knew much about that. Just kind of hit him in the face. But it was enough to keep the ball out and to keep our clean sheet intact. Meslier has kept many a clean sheet this season. I'd love it if he kept one more, because then we could do the double this year of the Champions League and the FA Cup. There's your spoiler for yesterday's Premier League title finale, if you haven't seen it yet. Rafinha going to pick the ball up here. Just can't seem to break free though, can I? Every time I win the ball back, City have players positioned well enough that any passing option I have, just literally nutmegged myself with Gini Rutter there, any passing option I have is marked, and marked well. Free kick for them here, and Haaland is just going to loft it, and Rodri's going to get underneath it. Van Everijk wins the header. Ampadu's clearance isn't great. Rafinha, I think, used the hand there. How many times have we seen free kicks go in like this so far this season? Erling Haaland will wind up, and he will hit the wall. Thank Christ for that. From the corner, Yan Couto. Will it be 1-0 at half-time as it was at Wembley? Or will it not? It may well be. It may well be. It may well not be. Hang on. Keki's got it. We've got it back. Oh, Pedri with a good tackle. 2 minutes added on at the end of the half. It could still may well be not 1-0. And that's brilliantly played. And it's McAtee. And it's side netting only goal kick. It will be 1-0. And Evite. Forward to Rafinha. And Phil Foden. Declan Rice trying to win it back. Foden's done really well. Foden could get this back inside. City starting the second half, how they ended the first in my bloody half. Alphonso Davies on his right foot. We've seen that in the Champions League before. Goal kick only, though. Not quite the same sort of ending there, was it? That'll be Zakanyi coming on for Keki. It will sub on a left winger at right wing. It just won't start a right winger. A left winger at right wing if there is another right winger in the squad. Doesn't really make much sense, but what does in FC these days? Van Evite. Rafinha wants to make that inverted winger run again, and we've slotted him in nicely and cut this back to Julian Alvarez. And this time Ruben Dias does deal with his former teammate. Gini was there ready and waiting to score the second goal in a cup final again, but he's denied by the Portuguese. Well in, Somerville. And Gini look for a little lift. On the volley, he's used his head. Diogo Costa gets something on it. And it's still only 1-0. Somerville with the delivery. Could be Alvarez underneath it. I think Diogo Costa might have caught that through his own defender's face. And Padu and White. As time goes on, City's players will fade physically because of that high press. They will have to rely on multiple substitutions to keep themselves as competitive as they want to be in this game. It's a lovely touch by Gini Rutter. Is he about to seal it for Leeds? No. Jack Clark wants to come on. All right, let's do it then. Why not? Jack Clark can come on. Let's bring Peru on for Alvarez again. Current match winner as it stands. I won't make any other changes outside of that at present. We could even get Peru on the end of this from the corner if Diogo Costa wants to stay on his line this time. That's the plan. That's exactly what happens with his first touch of the game. Joel Peru might well have just sealed the Champions League for Leeds. Ah, Christ the Redeemer. Pedri and Foden. It's loose. It's just not good enough. They've taken Howard Bellis on and brought on that Joseph White here at centre-back. Wonder whether he's a Kyle Walker regen, actually. Playing at full-back and centre-back with his positions. Go on, Joel. Off the bench to score one. Off the bench to score two. 88th minute, Joel Peru is winning us the Champions League. Ah, that was my opportunity, wasn't it? Run, Joel Peru! Not quite so dramatic a finish here when you're already 2-0 up to make it 3. And in the 88th, not the 92nd. But I'll be honest, this has gone remarkably better than I thought it would do. I thought I was going to lose the Champions League final. I was nervous enough about the Brighton game after the way that the FA Cup final went last year, although obviously our players have improved over the past 12 months. But so are Manchester bloody Cities, but they've just not been at it here. They either turn up or they don't. They beat us in the league, they will not beat us in Europe, and Meslier is determined to keep his clean sheet as well. With the definitive last action of this Champions League final and of this Leeds save, Meslier makes the stop. Another frame-ratey bitty cutscene on your way. And it's Leeds United lifting the trophy once more. A double for us then here today to round out this Leeds United career mode save. We will drop back to the menus as ever, have a full season and save roundup and show you everything that happened in this save and who won what, etc. and how everybody got on. Have a look at the Patreon players too, but first of all we would very much like to see us lift the Champions League trophy. I'm really pleased. After losing the Premier League title fight by a single point in yesterday's episode, I wanted to make sure that we didn't have a full save where the only thing we won was the championship in Season 1 and then bottled it everywhere else along the way. But marching on together rings out loud and proud in Gelsenkirchen. And it's Leeds United that are going to lift the Champions League trophy this season. Is it a treble with the Community Shield? Not really, but it's certainly quite the double. FA Cup and Champions League. 2 big trophies for Leeds United this season. Ethan Ampadu lifting them both. What a player he's been for us. And what a great sign it's been of this Leeds team that so many of those starting players have been here since day one in the Championship. Really, really solid core at this club. Whether that happens in real life for them, I highly doubt. But to have players like Ethan Ampadu, Ilan Meslier, Declan Rice I was going to say there, Archie Gray, Joel Peru, all be still in the starting lineup and having a massive impact. Crescencio Somerville, another one too. It's absolutely phenomenal. I'm really pleased. It's the first time that that's really happened in any save for us. And I had to abort the cutscenes there because not only was it chugging the recording, it was also chugging the stream there as well. Dear EA, please optimise the PC version of the game for FC25, I pray. Christ, it's shit. Right, I'm going to advance till the very end of the season and then we'll give you a full season and save roundup and have a look at the Patreon players as well. But for now, if you're leaving me here, keep your eyes peeled for an update video with your feedback very much needed for the new realistic RTG coming next week. That will come either tomorrow or Monday. And hopefully we will be just as good there as we have been this season here. But probably going to take us a little bit longer than 4 seasons to become as good there as we think we could be. So let's have a look and see who did what this year. We already know, obviously, that we've won the Champions League and FA Cup this season, and yesterday we found out that we did not win the Premier League in this Leeds United save. 3rd last season, 2nd this season, and only by a single point. Single point that we lost in the last 5 minutes of the most recent game against Liverpool in a 4-3 defeat. Thriller. Annoying that, isn't it? Pretty annoying indeed. City and Chelsea 3rd and 4th, Spurs in 5th. Relegated were Burnley, Bournemouth and Forest. Everton survive. The Community Shield, obviously, we won by 2-1 against Manchester City. The FA Cup, we just won against Brighton. Carabao Cup, we lost against Spurs. So we had the chance to win everything this year, and we very nearly did. We could quite easily have done a quadruple. Napoli won the UEFA Super Cup. Obviously, the Champions League was won by us. We know that Inter Milan won the Europa League. It was against Liverpool, though. Unluckily for them. No Champions League football for Liverpool next season in this save because they were outside the top 4 in the Prem as well. Lazio beat Ajax in the final of the Europa Conference League here. Liverpool were 5th or 6th? 7th, in fact, for Liverpool in the Premier League this season. Really not great there for them. With regards player stats, if I can actually get to the right tab. Our very own Joel Peru wins the Golden Boot with 26 goals in 34 games. There's also Julian Alvarez there with 16 in 27 and Ruter with 15 in 36. Peru did not start a lot of the latter games, so he must have been on one hell of a goal-scoring season before being dropped for Alvarez, who went on a one hell of a goal-scoring streak of his own. Any other Leeds players in the top 25? Not on this occasion. Anthony Gordon, joint top creative player with Alvarez, Peru, Somerville and Amdouni at Burnley, who got relegated. Alvarez with 9 assists in 27 games. I was about to say, so maybe he should get it. But no, Amdouni, 9 in 25 games. So let's let them share it, shall we, the silver boot. More Leeds players on there in Archie Gray with 8, just 1 behind. Ruter with 7, Rafinha with 6. Any other Leeds United players in there? No. Clean sheet-wise, Meslier bossed it. 14 clean sheets in the Premier League this season. He did very, very well indeed again. I think he won the Golden Boot last. Golden Boot. He didn't win the Golden Boot, I tell you that much. The Golden Glove last year as well. Coming up from the Championship would be Wolves and Middlesbrough, and one of Norwich, Watford, Southampton and West Bromwich Albion. Getting relegated from the Championship this season would have been Charlton, Portsmouth and Derby County. Portsmouth and Derby just promoted in real life. Promotions and relegations is something we're going to talk about in that pre-RTG video over the next couple of days. Plymouth promoted back to the Championship, as well as Barnsley, who were through against Bolton. No, out against Bolton. Out against Bolton, I think, in the playoffs in real life. Peterborough, Rotherham, MK Dons and Wigan are in the playoffs in save. Cambridge survive, up the Ellers. Wimbledon, Bristol Rovers, Stockport and Notts County back down to League 2, whereas Fleetwood, Shrewsbury, Northampton up to League 1. Carlisle, Tranmere, Forest Green Rovers or Swindon Town will join them, and were it in the game, Crawley Town, who are in the playoffs IRL, and Newport County would have been relegated to the National League. In France, you're not shocked. In Germany, a little bit of a shock actually. Leipzig, top of the table by a point from Bayern Munich, from Leverkusen, both on 71 points by a single goal difference there. So a single point or a single goal. The difference in Germany. Dortmund only 5th there, which is probably the biggest shock of all of it. Serie A, Napoli win the league again by 13 points from AC Milan. Inter Milan finishing the Champions League spots and won the Europa League. So definitely a Champions League season for them next year in this save. Juve only 4th. In the Eredivisie, it was PSV for FC24. Ajax only 5th. In the Portuguese league, it's Porto from Sporting. In the SPL, it's Rangers from Celtic by 2 goals only. Wow, very tight there on goal difference. And in La Liga, it's Barcelona from Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid 6th. Can you tell me when the last time Real Madrid finished 6th in La Liga? I bet you can't, because I have absolutely no idea when Real Madrid last finished that lowly in the Spanish tables. That's quite the turn up for the books. So how did our players do this year, all told, and how did they grow? Obviously, Meslier has grown quite a 64 games he played this year. Ilan Meslier, I think as far as I can recall, played every single game of every single season in this save. I'm pretty sure. Unbelievable from him. Martson played 61 at left back, to be fair, which is very, very impressive indeed. When you go all the way in all cup competitions, you end up playing quite a lot of football. Maybe Jurgen Klopp is onto something. With regards to goals, though, Joel Peru got 32 all told for the season. Alvarez with 29. Ruter with 24, to be fair to him. As much as I complain about his finishing, he certainly had his best season in a Leeds United shirt this year. Somerville with 12 and 15 assists as well. Nice to see that from out wide as our highest rated player at 89. Rafinha came in and made one hell of an impact. 17 goal contributions in 32 games is very, very pleasing indeed. So, delighted with that. How many goals came in the Champions League for us compared to Barcelona? I don't know. But regardless, 11 contributions in 16 Premier League games since his arrival says that he made a difference to the starting lineup. Jack Clark with 9 and 5. Neto did well for us as well, but some of those might have well been for Wolves as well. Of course, Alex Scott did well, but some of those might have been for Bournemouth. Archie Gray with 12 assists to go with his 3 goals as well. Up for it, 88 rated for him this season. Declan Rice with 7 assists. Rice I would have hoped for more from, goal scoring wise, creatively as well, only 3 in the Premier League. So, not quite as good as he could have been. Alexander Morton got a goal for Brighton in the Premier League, so GG's to him. But not massively impressive in the lower reaches of the squad, but certainly the better players performed very, very well indeed. The last time Real Madrid finished 6th in La Liga was 1969-70. 54 years ago. That's how long it's been since Real Madrid had such a poor season in La Liga, according to Football Manager, apparently, says Ben. And FM is, of course, a very trustful source of footballing information. Sommelier up 2 to 87 this year. Martson similarly to 85. Sorry, Ben Davies. He's going to Le Havre as a much worse player than when he started this season. Only up 1 for Ben White and for Ethan Ampadu. Pascal Strauch up 2 as well, despite not playing too much this year. A lot of players peaked, as you can clearly see from the little yellow symbol this season. Cresswell up 1 as well. Hunter up 2. Fernandez up 1. Kirali up 12, but that's with a position change, obviously. Van Ewijk up 2. Riley up 3. Vanderson came in and played some football, but didn't grow at all for us. Declan Rice didn't grow. Archie Gray up 4. He's still got potential to be special, so one imagines that he will just continue to grow next season as well if we were going into it and would smash on towards the 90s. Jack Clark up 1 to 85. Scott up 1 to 81. Neto... Oh. Hang on, let me get myself back here. There we go. Archie Gray up 4, Jack Clark up 1, Somerville up 3 to 89, Greenwood didn't grow, Scott up 1, Ruter up 2, Gelhart up 1, Donnelly up 2, Morton up 4, Tejera 6, Fletcher 3, Francis 2, Kleber Carvalho up 2. Some of the youth players were just getting to the point of being usable, weren't they, really? Herman Christensen and Ellis Stokes not growing that much. Barbosa up 1. He's back from loan now. Rafinha didn't grow, but we didn't expect him to be fair. Neto up 1. Brown up 3. Jackson Giles up 3 as well. Aiden Lucas up 1. Felipe Moraes up 2. Julian Alvarez didn't grow, but he didn't need to. Peru up 3, and presumably will continue to grow next season as well, despite the fact that he has currently peaked. Mateo Joseph up 3 to 78. Jack Thompson up 4, and Alfonso Contreras also up 3, out on loan at Inter Miami. We will be obviously making the most of the youth system in the realistic Road to Glory save, which will be the save that follows this with my very own Cambridge United. We'll have a lot of rules and stipulations in that realistic RTG though, so plenty to come on that front over the next few days, and the save will start as soon as I can get it to you. Once I've got everything prepared, we'll have the first episode go live as a premiere, so you guys will be able to see that all together all at once. So you'll know exactly when it's coming because it will be scheduled in your sub box a couple of days ahead of time of it actually going out. So keep your eyes peeled for that. For those of you that are interested in the Patreon players, stick with me. For those of you that aren't, thank you for watching this Leeds save. Thank you for your support on this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Patreon lads, let's have a look at you, shall we? No, obviously further transfers at this stage. Do feel free to have a pause if you'd like to have a look at your overall rating or a little bit of a closer detail at anybody. You'll notice that I don't believe actually anyone has got any more transfers at this stage. No one's signed a pre-contract anywhere else, I don't believe. Some have obviously moved this season, but there's not any more upcoming transfers that I'm aware of. Nobody's running out of contract anywhere. Some have reached the 80s, some have not. In the RTG, we're going to lessen the potential from 97 to 93 or 4, I think, just so you guys don't get massively OP. But because it's going to be a realistic RTG and it's going to probably take a significant portion of seasons, you guys will be starting much lower down in terms of your ratings. Rather than being 63 to, or 60 to 65 rated, you'll be starting kind of 50 to 55 rated. And I haven't yet decided whether to make you all free agents or whether to give you the choice of club as you previously have had. I'd be leaning perhaps towards free agents, but I'll give it a bit of a test first before we definitively make a decision. And when I put the Patreon post live, you guys will have a choice. But as you see this, the Patreon post will already be live because I will have put it live yesterday afternoon. So do keep your eyes peeled for that on Patreon. Of course, not everyone that's on this list is still in the Patreon, especially Bernardo Silva. So if you'd like to resubscribe to the Patreon to make sure you're in the next save, then now is the time to do so. If you're not in the Patreon and would like to be, now is the time to do so. If you're not asked, then obviously don't. It's entirely up to you. But a number of you growing very, very well indeed. Obviously, anyone that's at Cambridge for this save won't be at Cambridge for the next save. I don't have Patreon players at my club. It would be unfair to prioritise some over others when you're all paying the same fee to be in the save. For some of you to get more screen time than others purposefully would be unfair. Obviously, I can't do anything about where you go and whether you get played against me or not, but I certainly can have a say on what's fair about who's in my team and who isn't, and ultimately none of you are in my team for that reason. If there was less than 24 of you, I could probably do a Patreon club, Patreon player club, but because there's like 60 of you, it's quite literally not possible for you all to be at the same club, so it's not something that I'm able to do. But that's a good thing. It means you guys are loving the content, you're very much supporting the channel with the Patreon as well, and I can't thank you enough for that. Makes a massive impact, especially at this time of year where obviously views are down, ad revenue is down, and the Patreon becomes one of, if not the biggest earner of all of my various different income streams: YouTube, Twitch, Patreon, brand deals, etc. So thank you very much for your continued support throughout all of this Leeds United career. Whether you're in or are not in the Cambridge RTG save, I hope to see you there watching on day one when the first episode goes live. Similar colour scheme to Daz at Elfsborg, but obviously we're going to be in the amber and black, not the yellow and black. Looking forward to that. You guys know how much I love doing the Cambridge saves. I know you guys enjoy watching me do the Cambridge saves as well, so I hope to see you there. Will be a couple of days yet still, so keep your eyes peeled on this sub box, of course. The streams will continue. We've got lots of Formula 1 content to make before the new game comes out. We'll obviously be doing all of the career mode stream prep for the new save as well. But for now, here on YouTube, that is me until you guys see the kind of help me figure out what the hell to do with some rules and decision making, etc. video that will come over the next couple of days. That's all for me for now. Thank you very much for your support as ever. Bye.